right, Shalom. Shalom, family. I want to give blessings, praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Shalom to the brothers pushing the truth across the four winds throughout the world, from coast to coast. Shalom to all the sisters out there. Shalom to all the children listening. Barakatah to all y'all. Praise to the Most High. Uh, so here we are, man. Here we are. We got this thing kicking off. We got all the prophecies kicking off. We got the persecution of the true Israelites kicking off right now. It's time for us to start getting prepared for this. It's time for us to actually, get our minds ready to deal with what's coming. You know, for as long as any one of you have been in the truth, you should have known that there's a lot that comes attached to this. There's a lot that comes attached to knowing who you are and proclaiming it and understanding it. You know, there's a lot of things that is required of you, and suffering persecution and dealing with lies said about you, you know, false accusations. Those are a must. You have to go through that. You have to be able to, to persevere through that and to suffer those things. The same way our king, long live the king, Yahweh Shai had to go through these things. You know what I'm saying? And so let's get into this. This is from the Huffington Post. It says spotlight after Jersey City attacks. This is the Black Hebrew Israelites. They call us Black Hebrew Israelites are in the spotlight now. All right. So many things wrong with this. It's all the earmarks of a false flag. It's all the signs of rehearsed rehearsed situations, by Esau Edom. Same thing they've been doing. They have these empty claims where there's a report out that say that these two suspects had interest in the quote unquote black Hebrew Israelite movement. Yet at the same time they say that there is no definitive connection to any of that, any of what we are. Like, okay, well, if there's no definitive proof or evidence to substantiate the claim that they are a part of the Hebrew Israelites, then what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? And it all just came out of the blue, out of nowhere, and then to find out that they've been having that the SWAT team, the police team in Jersey City have had mock exercises months before this event, and to see that they've had drills and they've had basically rehearsals of this of possible scenarios. The same thing before what 9/11 they got drills going on. Before the attack of London, they got drills going on. Well, before the attack on Jersey City, they had drills going on. When you see these jokers having random drills dealing with quote unquote terrorism, then understand that there's going to be a, a you know, a situation that takes place that's going to be publicized all throughout the media. And like I've said years ago, if the news media is pushing something more than 3 times, there's an agenda behind it. You see, if there's a response from the White House, there's an agenda behind that. There's an agenda behind that. And so what's the agenda behind this one? Because we know it says Black Hebrew Israelites, which that very statement is redundant because we understand that that is not the case. There is no Black Hebrew Israelite because that would insinuate that there is such a thing as a white Hebrew Israelite or whatever, you know, contrary to that. And there's that just makes no sense at all. It makes zero sense because not all the Israelites are quote unquote black. The Hebrew Israelites consists of the so-called Negro, so-called Hispanics, so-called natives, and those who look. There are some who look like the other nations. There are some who look like the other nations, but it primarily consists of the so-called black, Hispanic, and native Indians. And then another thing is, uh, this is not a religion. This is not a religion. What this is an identity. In comparison, it would be like uh, calling an Ethiopian a religion. Well, that's not a religion. That is a nationality. The Hebrew Israelite is a nationality. It's not a religion. We are Hebrews by blood because we stem from Abraham the Hebrew, and we are Israelite by nation, meaning we descend from the son of Jacob who was changed, whose name was changed to Israel. He is the grandson of Abraham, the son of Isaac, and which is of the seed line of the chosen, in which we descend from. So that would consist of the Hebrew Israelite. You see what I'm saying? For example, you have Ishmaelites. Ishmaelites are Hebrews. They descend from Abraham, but they are not Israelites. They are Ishmaelites. So that would consider that they are Hebrew Ishmaelites. Understand how that works? So here we are. We are the Hebrew Israelites. So if you wanted to get real technical with it, you can just break it down to the lowest common denominator. Just go straight to the nationality. We are Israelites. Okay? So, reading on, says not all sects of the fringe movement spew hateful rhetoric, but some black Hebrew Israelites subscribe to an extreme set of anti-Semitic beliefs. That statement is redundant because there is no such thing as Sem in the Bible. There's no such word as Semitic. You see what I'm saying? There's Shemitic. We are Shemitic because we descend from the line of Shem. Understand? Abraham comes from the line of Shem. Isaac from the line of Shem. Jacob from the line of Shem. We are Shemitic. They are not Shemitic. Understand? If you pull them over to the side and you ask them what tribe you from, because what they say is they're Jews. What they say is they're Jews, but no one understands what that word means. No one understands what the word Jew means. The word Jew is a derivative from the word Judah. Judah is the fourth tribe of the Israelites. There are 12 tribes of the Israelites. And all these tribes descend from the 12 sons of Jacob, whose name was turned to Israel, thus making them the Israelites. But these people who are calling themselves Jews do not descend from that line. They do not descend from the line of Shem. Let me get a scripture real quick. I know all you brothers understand this scripture and you know this by heart. But for the sake of this lesson, for anyone who may not understand, may not know this, this is Revelations chapter 2, verse 9. This is Yahawashah. This is the king speaking to his servant, John. And he's telling him, he's warning him of what's going to happen in the last days. So this is Christ talking to the real Israelites about what will take place here. He says, I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. The scriptures say that the Israelites are going to be in poverty. It says that the Israelites are going to be going through tribulation. And the Israelites are going to be hard working. Go on. This says, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. You see? When you look at a Jew, do you look at a poor person? Do you look at a person who is under tribulation? Do you look at a person who is being oppressed? You don't see that. When you look at a Jew, you see a banker. When you look at a Jew, you see someone who owns the block, who owns the city. You're looking at someone who owns Hollywood. You're looking at someone who owns the diamond mines. You're looking at someone who owns the Federal Reserve, the IRS. You're looking at someone who owns the World Bank and the IMF. You're looking at someone who owns everything. You're looking at the Rothschilds, the Warburgs, the Rockefellers. You're looking at all of them, the DuPonts. You're looking at these people. They are not in tribulation. They are not in poverty. That is a complete contrast to what Yahushua told John the Revelator that was going to be happening to the Israelites. He said that the real ones will be in the lowest of the low, and that predisposition is in all the scriptures of what would happen to the Israelites, that they will be the lowest of the low in every city, that they will be the worst of the worst, that they will hate themselves, that they will hate each other, that they will not be able to get along with each other, that they will not be able to have businesses, that they will not be able to have any commerce, that they will be always oppressed, that they will be destroyed day and night and terrorized. That's what the scriptures say. That would be the Hebrew Israelites. And let me get that real quick. The scriptures also say that these same Israelites will go into slavery. Every time when you say the word slavery, there's only one people that come to your mind. Only one people. And that people who jumps into your mind, who pops up in your mind, the first person that pops up in there when you say slave, that's the Israelite. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28. Chapter 28, and I'm going to get verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. This is what the Israelites would go through. The Israelites would have to go to their oppressors for food. They don't own McDonald's. They don't own Burger King. They don't own Popeyes, which they go crazy about. They don't own any of that. In thirst, they don't own Deer Park. They don't own Purefina. They don't own any of that. They don't own Coca-Cola. None of these beverage companies. They don't own any of that. Their oppressors own that. It says in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. We don't own anything like that. We don't own anything dealing with clothes. None of our clothes we own. We go to our oppressor. We don't own Tommy Hilfiger. We don't own Fubu. Well, not Fubu. We did own Fubu. We did, but that was taken out, which was prophesied to happen. We don't own anything. See what I'm saying? We don't own New Era. We don't own none of that. We don't own Gucci, nothing. It says now hunger, thirst, nakedness. Now we'll serve him in the want of all things. Not just all those things, but everything. Everything. If you want a birth, you get born, you got to go to your oppressor for a birth certificate. When you die, you go to your oppressor for a death certificate and to bury them. You see? Someone wants to bury you, they got to go to their oppressors. This is to the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native. We don't own none of that. We don't own none of that. If you want to, uh, 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 if you want a degree, you don't have any black schools. You don't have any schools owned by Negroes, Hispanics, or Natives. You don't own any of that. So you can't go and graduate from any of those schools. You got to go to your oppressor and learn his ways and learn his education. You see? If you want any license, you go to them. And in want of all things, and ye shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. There's only one people that have gone through that. There's only one people in history that have gone through having yokes of iron, shackles upon their necks. There's only one people. And to further expound on that, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. The word Egypt is synonymous with bondage. The word Egypt is bondage in Greek. That's what it means. If the Israelites would go into bondage, then that means that they would go into slavery, because that's what bondage means. And Yahweh shall bring thee into bondage or slavery again with ships. There's only one people on the planet that went into slavery with ships. Only one. Only one race of people. This has happened to the Hispanics back in 1492, right? When Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and he showed up over here, and he started killing them all. He took our people, put them in those ships, sent them to Servile, Spain. Look that up. Research it. It started with the Native Americans and the Hispanics when he came over here. And the funny thing is, he used the Hebrew interpreters when he came to the Americas. That's all recorded. That's all recorded. Then they decided to go and reach the rest of the tribes. of Israel, which were scattered in the coasts of Africa, the west coast to be more precise. So all of these people, the Negro, Hispanic, and Native Indian, went into slavery on ships. That's all that's happened. That's all that's going on here. That's all that's going on here. It's talking about one race of people, the Israelites. Now let me read that again. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. That it is our homeland. We've never been back to Israel ever since then. And there ye shall be sold to your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. No man shall buy you, meaning no man will save you. No man will save you from where you was taken to. And here we are, we're still here, aren't we? We're still here. We were sold, once we got off those ships, we were sold as bondmen and bondwomen. The moment we got off those slave ships, they took our names from us. They took our language from us. They made sure we didn't have our people with us, uh, 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 our children. We didn't have our families. Excuse me. We didn't have our families with us. They made sure that our families were separated. Because if I have my father and my father's father, you see what I'm saying? I can ask them and they can tell me the truth of the past. But I can't do that if I'm all the way over here and they're in another country somewhere. You see? The so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native has been shipped all over the world. Has been shipped all over the world. You had Negroes over in China, over in Japan. You had Negroes shipped over to India, all around the place. That's what this is. This is not a movement. This is not a movement or anything. This is simply the Israelite coming back to what he was, coming back to his inheritance, coming back to the knowledge of where he came from. Notice how they only show you slavery in school. They only show you slavery. They never take it any further back from 1619. They never take it any further back. Nobody ever notices that. Nobody ever thinks about that. Why don't they take us further back to from that point? Once you go further back and research these things, then you know why. You know why. We were much different people. We weren't just slaves. We weren't no slaves. We had kingdoms. We had kingdoms. We had customs. We had laws, and that goes to my next point. This isn't a religion. I know everyone likes to believe that it is. It's not. It's not. The Israelites were never given a religion. This holy Bible is not a religion. It's not a book of religion. The heathen that stole this Bible and controlled us using it turned it into a religion. This is not a book of religion. This is a book of laws. This is a book of statutes, judgments. This is a book of chronicles. This is a book of history concerning our people. A book of chronicles concerning our people. A book of prophecies of things to come. That's what this is. That's what this is. Bathing, washing up after you come from war is not a religion. That is a custom, all recorded in the scriptures and enforced in the scriptures. We were to wash after we came from battle. We were not to be around our spouses when we came back from battle. We had to cleanse ourselves for a few days before we came back to them. That was our custom. Those were our customs. The marriage laws, those are customs. Those were our customs. The customs of circumcision. Those were clean. Those were cleanly laws, and also covenants, signs of covenants. You see, the way we dressed. Those were customs. They weren't religions. These heathens took our book, and they turned those things into religion. It wasn't religion. It was just our customary behavior. It was just our customary behavior. Now we would sacrifice to our God because our God fought for us. Because our God is He is our God. And that was a part of our contract with Him. Still a part of our custom. Wasn't a religion. Still a part of our custom. You see what I'm saying? So let me continue with this. Oh, and back on that point. Back on that point with with anti-Semitic beliefs. I already explained that there is no such word as a Semite. There are Shemites. Now, once again, if you go back to these people who call themselves Jews, and you ask them where they come from, and they say Jew, and they leave out all the 11 other tribes, like they don't exist anymore. But you pressure them even further on that, and you know what they'll give you? They'll eventually say, "I'm Ashkenazi. I'm Ashkenazi." Well, Ashkenaz, that is most certainly not Shemitic. Ashkenaz does not come from the line of Shem. Ashkenaz descends from the line of Japheth. It descends from the line of Japheth. Don't forget that Noah had three sons. Noah had three sons: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Japheth is what Ashkenaz descends from, and they all know that. They all know that, which is why when you go into the Jewish almanac, it'll tell you that it's incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew. Same as it is to call a contemporary Jew an Israelite or a Hebrew. You go ahead and read that in the Jewish almanac, and it'll tell it to you. But let me get Ashkenaz right now while I'm on that subject. This is the book of Genesis. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 2. I'm going to read verse 2 and 3. The sons of Japheth. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiraz. And the sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, and Repha, and Togarmah. So, Ashkenaz would be the grandson of Japheth, one of the sons of Noah. Now let me read this one. This is Genesis chapter 9, verse 26. Genesis chapter 9, verse 26, I'm going to read to 27. And he said, Blessed be Yahweh, God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. You see, notice how it says Shem. It starts off with Shem. Verse 27, it says, Yahweh shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Notice what that means. The land of Israel right now, what it was known before in ancient times, was the land of Canaan. And these people who call themselves Jews, who actually descend from the line of Japheth, They are now dwelling in the tents of Shem in the land of Canaan, which is now known as Israel. Interesting how that works, right? So let's read on. It says the deadly shooting rampage at a New Jersey kosher market has cast a spotlight on a fringe movement known for its anti-Semitic strain of street preaching and its role in a viral video confrontation at the Lincoln Memorial this year. So that's referring to the confrontation that the pull up boys, um, you know, one of the Israelite camps over there, uh, they had that confrontation with the college students over there, and then the tribe of Gad, the so-called Native Americans stepped in, and they helped to try and calm the situation down, but it just it just became it just became crazy, and then it ended up in the media and whatnot. Um, yeah, that happened earlier this year. So, continuing, investigators believe that the man and woman who killed three people at the Jersey City grocery today, in addition to gunning down a police officer at a cemetery, hated Jews and law enforcement and had expressed interest in the Black Hebrew Israelites movement. New Jersey Attorney General Gabir Grewal said Thursday. But we have not definitively, this is a quote, but we have not definitively established any formal links to that organization or to any other group, he said, unquote. Now, if there's no link to these groups, if you will, then what's the point? Like, what are we talking about here? What is this all about? You know what I'm saying? You guys need to ask yourselves that question. What is this really about? It says, quote, based on the available evidence, we believe that the two shooters were acting on their own, unquote. So what's the point? So what is the point here? Because we've been saying for years that there's going to be a false flag and it's going to be pinned on the Israelites. It's the same way it happened in the ancient times with Rome, where Emperor Nero burnt down a temple of Mercury and blamed it on the Israelites so that they can attack the Israelites and destroy them. Well, this is the same thing that's going to happen now. The same thing that's going to happen now. These Edomites did it before. They're about to do it again. They're about to do it again. And they're going to come down heavy this time. They're going to come down heavy on us because they got a lot more firepower this time around. All praise to the Most High. He said he's going to protect us, and we need to stand on that. We need to stand on that promise. And don't fear. He's going to protect us. And there shall be some martyrs among us. There shall be some martyrs. There's some of us that's going to be dead. That's going to be killed. They're going to kill us. But we gotta be willing to die for this thing. We gotta be willing to die for this truth, man. We gotta be willing to die for it. We are the knights. We are the royal knights. As is written, we are the royal knights that are set to charge, that are given the charge to defend the gospel of the King. So you're going to have to prove your loyalty to the crown. Since that's what your calling is for, since that's what we are charged with, we're supposed to be in defense of the crown. Because when the king comes back and you have kept that charge, you will be given the crowns and rulership to rule along with him. And that's what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid of. They know the scriptures. They know full well what's coming. They know full well what's coming. They have every book that was hidden in the scrolls. They have every one of them, and they went through all of them. And they know what exactly is going to happen. They know that they will have to go into slavery. They know this thing. They know they got to go into slavery for what they have done to the Most High's people. They know that they are going to be wiped off the face of the earth for destroying the earth. They know this thing. Let me just get that right now. Just get that right now. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. The ones that shed the innocent blood on this land, on this planet, they have to be destroyed. Excuse me. It's my wife. Um, so we have to be able to look at these scriptures and see them for what they are. That the Israelites are going to be persecuted for this truth. The Israelites are going to be persecuted. They're going to be chased down. All of it. That's what the scriptures say. And like I said, just like how Nero used the false flag in the ancient times, the Edomites are going to use the same false flags this time around. And let me get that. This is Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. There's nothing new. There's nothing new. Brothers was killed for standing on this truth before. It's got to happen again. It's got to happen again. You know what I'm saying? We were in rulership before. It's got to happen again. They were in subjection to our rule before. It's gonna happen again. But this time, they're not getting out of it. They are not getting out of it. Because you see what happens when they get out of being subjected to righteousness. You see what happens. The entire planet is destroyed. The entire planet suffers. This planet is suffering a very slow destruction. Very slow destruction. You have the air that we breathe is polluted. Huh? You have the waters polluted. Polluted with all manner of just distasteful things. All kinds of garbage. There was this one whale. There was this one whale. And it's the saddest thing I've ever seen. It was beached on the shore. And its mouth was wide open. The ones that found it looked inside the whale, and its belly was full of nothing but plastic and garbage. It was full of nothing but garbage and plastic from the ocean. This thing suffered this thing suffered for a long time. That's a long time of accumulating all that stuff. It would have lost its supply of oxygen, I guess, or whatever it uses to breathe, or whatever it goes through inside the waters. But that was just a terrible thing to see. It was just so sad. And this is what they do. This is what they do. And on that note, let me just get that. Let me get that. You see what I'm saying? They're here talking about, oh, what's so terrible for what? For what? Telling the truth? We're terrible for telling the truth on y'all. When we get out there and we tell y'all to your face what's going to happen to you, you sitting here like y'all don't deserve it? No, y'all deserve every bit of what's coming. Y'all deserve every bit because you have destroyed this beautiful planet. Isaiah chapter 24 verse 1. Behold, Yahweh maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. Because of what you did, this place has got to be cleansed. It's got to be cleansed. But why does it have to be cleansed? This is why. Verse 4. The earth mourneth. The earth mourning. The earth is in pain. And what else? It fadeth away. The world languishes, and it fades away. The hardy people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. We weren't supposed to be doing none of this. We weren't supposed to be polluting the air. We weren't supposed to be polluting the waters. None of that. We were not supposed to be doing that thing. Dumping oil into the oceans. We weren't supposed to be doing none of that. We weren't supposed to be taking oil out of the earth. I don't care how natural you want to say it is. We're not supposed to be taking waste out of the earth. It's supposed to be recycled through the earth's process. Not used as fuel. Not used as fuel. That's upside down, man. That don't make no kind of sense. Y'all have transgressed the laws. And what does the law say? The law says don't eat pig. Don't eat the swine. Don't eat the shellfish. Don't eat the crabs. Don't eat the lobsters and the shrimps. Why? Because these are all bottom feeders. These are all bottom feeders. And what are the bottom feeders? The bottom feeders are the recycling system of the planet. The pig will eat anything. It will eat anything, and it will hold all the bacteria in its body, all the pests, all the parasites in its body. It will hold it all because it can. That's why it was designed to hold all that stuff, being the recycling system of the earth. It'll eat anything. I swear, anything. I have seen it. I've seen it. I was on the farm. I lived on the farm for a couple months. I have seen that thing. They will eat anything. Sprinkle some food on it. Don't matter. They'll eat it. Slop, they'll eat it. They'll eat it. Rotten, they'll eat it. Because that's their recycling system. That's the Earth's recycling system. When you talk about these crabs and lobsters and shellfish and catfish and whatnot, these shrimps, those are bottom feeders of the ocean. Just as the pig and the vulture are the recycling systems on the land, you have the shrimp, the crab, the lobster, all recycling systems of the ocean. It's all a delicate balance. All a delicate balance. My people knew this. My people knew this. Before we went into slavery, we never touched a pig. We never touched the shrimp. We never did any of that. We never touched any of those things. Case in point, when we were enslaved and the slave master came over with all the pig slop, all the pig intestines, which we now call chitlin and call it a delicacy for some odd reason. But when he came over and was feeding it to our people were rejecting it. Specifically the men. They were rejecting that thing. They were rejecting eating that food. They knew the laws. They knew it was disgusting, disgraceful. They'd never ate it. And you know what the master did? Master would break his teeth in and force him to eat that shit. That's what happened. But we're evil. We're fringe and we're a hate group for telling the truth. For telling the truth, you all have to pay for what you've done. Every last one of you. Every last one of these heathens must pay. The Chinese got to pay for what they've done. Yes, the Chinese people have got to pay for what they have done. They had my people in slavery. How else do you think that the Great Wall of China was built? Wasn't built by no Chinese. They can't take no pride in that. It was built by the Negro slave. My people. It was built by them in the Tang Dynasty. Ain't nothing for them to be proud of. The Israelites are the builders of nations. They've always had, my people always have been. Always have been. We built Egypt. When my people came over here to the Americas, which was then known as Arsareth, as it is written in the scriptures, what did they do? They built pyramids because they remembered what they built in Egypt. And that was when they went off and started serving other idols and forgot about the Most High Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? That's why. That's what happened. My people have always been building nations. Always been building nations. Why do you think all these... That's why the plagues is reaching every corner of the planet. Because every place on the planet has descendants of those slaves. Descendants of the Israelites. Every place on the planet has it. Let me get into some scriptures, man, because I'm going all over. But the spirit is strong right now, because what's coming is something that's going to test your faith for real. Y'all ain't gotten nothing. Y'all ain't gone through nothing. Ain't no more time for playing patty cake, man. No, either you in this thing for real or you not. Either you in this thing for real or you not. This has never been for a fashion statement. This has never been a fad or nothing like that. Now comes the time for you to really prove that thing. Are you going to be in defense of the crown or not? Because the king is coming back to claim his throne. Let me get this. This is book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 10. Matthew chapter 10 verse 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And that's what we have been doing as the Israelites, as the Hebrew Israelites, which is what we are. We're not black. We're not Hispanics. We're not Native Americans. We are the Israelites. And that's what we have been doing. We have been going out and teaching and reaching the people and waking up the people to who they really are. Because these jokers over in the highest echelons of power know exactly who your black ass is. Why do you think they come down on you the way they do? Why do you think they kill you in these streets the way they do? Why do you think they do it? Why? It's not just because they hate you. This is biblical. This is biblical. It's not just because they don't like your skin, they think you ugly. No, this is spiritual and prophesied in the scriptures. But you have to be able to understand that. This is Matthew chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22, verse 9. Said, "Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage." That's what we've been doing. We've been going out to the highways. We've been sending out videos. We have been going out, talking to people as we go. People on the bus, people in school, people in not church, but people in at work, people at work. You know what I'm saying? And we have been telling them what's going on, who we really are, what's happened. Tell them to come back to the laws, come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments, the way the Most High wants us to, the way the Most High wants us to. That's what we have been doing. Let me get that. The book of Daniel chapter 12. Daniel chapter 12, 12, verse 4. "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." And that's what's happened. We have gone to and fro. The knowledge has been increased. The knowledge has been increased. Our people are waking up. Day after day, our people have been waking up. And the people up in the power, the Edomites, they know. Esau knows that we've been waking up. They know this thing. Let's go to what do I want? Yeah, I'm gonna go to verse 7. Actually, you know what? No, I want to go to verse 9. And he said, "Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the end, to the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white, and tried, and tried, and tried." Now is our time to be tried. Now is our time to be tried. They coming at us. They coming after us, man. You best understand that. They coming after us now, and they finna come at us heavy, heavy. Because you gotta understand who Esau is. This so-called white man, his name is Esau. The Bible calls him Esau. Look at Esau. Look at him very closely. He's cornered. He's cornered. He feels like he has nowhere left to go. And he doesn't. He knows he doesn't. He knows that chosen are waking up to who they are. He knows that. And he knows that his time is very short. So now the time has come for us to be tried. Check this. "But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand." Understand this. Understand this, y'all. Not everybody is going to come into this. Not everybody is going to believe. Not everyone is going to believe they're the Israelites. Our people are not going to believe it fully. 2/3 of our people must be destroyed. 2/3 of my people have to be destroyed because they will not change. They will not change, and they will not come back to the laws of the Most High, of their God. They will not come back to it. They have to be destroyed. It's not my words. These are the scriptures. These are the scriptures. It's not my words. You can't save everybody. Can't save everybody. I love my family. I have loved ones. I love them. But I can't save them. I can tell them what the truth is, but I can't make the decision for them. In that day, we're all going to have to make our own decision. And the time is coming quickly. But since we've been going on these highways and byways, you know what I'm saying? Since we've been going out there on the streets and we've been teaching and we've been reaching our people, waking them up to who they were, to who they are. What do you think has been happening? What do you think has been happening? The strongholds have been breaking down. The strongholds have been breaking down. All the strongholds that was on our minds, you know, thinking that God is white, Jesus is white, the angels are white, thinking all these things, those are breaking down. Those are being broken down. And guess what? As a result, many are leaving the church. Many are leaving churches all around the world. And they see that. And they're upset about that. The ones in power are upset about that. TD Snakes is upset about that. Cashflow Dollar is upset about that. Joel Oyster is upset about that thing. They're upset about that. Let me get this. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15. Chapter 15, verse 7. No. Is it? Do I want 7? I want verse 8. Matthew chapter 15, verse 8. This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And that's what's been happening. That's what's been happening. All these people who are leaving the church because they hear the truth now and they see through all the lies, they are walking away from these churches because they realize that they have been taught wrong about God. They have been taught wrong about the Most High. They've been taught God is love. God is love. God is all love. He don't judge nobody. No. You're badly mistaken. Oh, God loves everyone. God is white. God is this, and he's no. The exact opposite. The exact opposite. The Most High is not white. Neither is his son, as it is written in Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. As it is written in Revelation chapter 1, verse 14, 15. You see what I'm saying? They are not white. The angels ain't white, as that's written in the book of Ezekiel. I believe it's chapter 4, verse 7. The Israelites ain't white, as it is written in Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. You see, everything that's completely contrary to what they've learned, they have no choice but to leave those false establishments. They have no choice but to walk away. As it is written, and this is why. This is why. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23. We start at verse 1. It says, "Woe be unto the pastors They destroy that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahweh. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock, and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yahweh. Verse 4, and I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahweh. And that's exactly what has been happening. That's exactly what has been happening. These jokers are leaving these churches and they are finding out the truth of this Bible, the truth of the Most High, the truth of His Son, the truth of the Israelites, and the truth of what's to come. They have been finding out this thing. They've been finding out the Most High is not all love. The Most High also hates. The Most High does not just create good. He also creates evil. You see, the Most High is not one dimensional. The Most High is not on one side of the scale. No, the Most High is the God of balance, as it is written in Proverbs 11:1. The Most High is a God of balance in all things. He creates the good and He creates the evil, as is written in Deuteronomy, I believe it's 32, verse 39. And as a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I need to hear that. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no Elohim with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. That's the dude you talking about. That's the dude you talking about. He ain't no effeminate faggot. You see what I'm saying? He ain't no dude that's all about love. No. No, if he was all about love, then he wouldn't be righteous. He wouldn't be righteous. You see what I'm saying? When you go out there and you tell an Edomite what's coming for him because of the wickedness of his people, when you tell these white folk what's happening, what's finna happen to them because of what they've done, they tell you that's wrong. That's wrong. You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't be about. You shouldn't be that. You shouldn't be that way. That's preaching hate. No, 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 no. No, that's not preaching hate. That's preaching truth. That's preaching truth and balance. Truth and balance. Let me get that real quick. The book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is His delight. And what is that just weight? What is that just weight? That just weight, let's go here. Let's go here to 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. What does recompense mean? Recompense means payback. The Most High said it's a righteous thing to pay them back what they do to you. Every single one of us, when we was children, our parents will always say, you hit that joker back. He hit you, you hit him back. You see how that works? You see how that works? The Most High ain't no pushover. The Most High is all about balance. Let me further expound on that. Because these Edomites know nothing about these scriptures. They know nothing about these scriptures. And the wise ones that are that are at the top of the pyramid, so to speak, the ones who know what these scriptures are saying, what did they do? They gave us they gave us what's known as the slave Bible. They gave us the slave Bible. Huh? The slave Bible, look that up. Where they gutted 90% of the Bible and gave us 10% where it only enforces love to love those who's oppressing us. But take away all the precepts and all the understanding of the scriptures that show it's not talking about any of that. It's not talking about any of that. This is the book of Revelations. It's the book of Revelations. This is every brother's favorite scripture, and I am one of them. Revelations chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go in that captivity. What is captivity? Slavery. Slavery. So let me say that one more time in context for all these Christians that's listening in, if there are any. He that leadeth into slavery shall go into slavery. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what is talking about in 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 6. It is a righteous thing with Yahweh to recompense, to pay back those who have troubled you. And that's what these Edomites don't like. And that's why they coming after us. That's why they coming after us, because they know that it is written and they know that it shall be done. That it shall be done. Everything that they have done to us, we will do to them. They know that. They know that. They know that we will be in possession of them and their children and their women. They know that we will have them. And we will be in possession of them and we will control it. And the world will be righteous again. The world will be righteous again. Let me show you what's going to happen. Let me show you what's going to happen, because the ones at the top of that pyramid, them Edomites, them elite Edomites, them elites, they know what these books are saying. They know what these books are saying. And they're afraid. They're afraid. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. All these Edomites, they're going to be joined with us. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Yes, y'all going to cleave to us for mercy. Y'all gonna fall onto your knees asking, begging for mercy. Verse 2. And the people shall take them. We're going to take y'all. Understand that? We're going to take y'all. What else does it say? It says, and they shall bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaidens. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. Everything y'all did to us, we finna do it to y'all. We finna do it to you. Twofold. Twofold, as it is written. Twofold. Y'all took us into slavery. We gonna take y'all into slavery. But what's gonna happen to the planet once that happens? Once that happens, once we take y'all into slavery, once we put y'all in chains and subjugate y'all and bring y'all to nothing, put you back to your place, what's gonna happen to the planet? This is Isaiah 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. The whole earth is going to be happy The whole earth is going to be rejoicing. The planet, we're not talking about the people. No, the planet earth is going to be rejoicing. What else is going to happen? Verse 8. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. No more cutting down trees. That's what them fir trees is going to be saying. Woo! No more cutting us down. Huh? No more pollution. No more polluting the air. No more birds falling out the sky by the thousands. No more fish coming up dead in the oceans by the millions. No more of that. No more of that. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Because y'all going to be in chains and down back where you belong. That's what's going to happen. And you call that hate, but the book calls it balance. The holy manuscript calls it balance. This is our book, the book of our chronicles, the book of our prophecies, the book of our laws, statutes, and commandments. This is our book, man. It was never yours to begin with. It's never yours to begin with. And it says the earth is going to be rejoicing. The planet Earth is going to rejoice. Everything's going to be luscious and green again. Luscious and green. And I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that. And it's going to be marvelous on this planet. It's going to be marvelous. And when we take y'all in the chains, put y'all in your place, this is what's going to happen. Isaiah 14 verse 16 says, They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? You see, y'all Edomites, y'all white folks think y'all big and bad, yo. Y'all think y'all big and bad, specifically America. Y'all think y'all the baddest on the planet, man. Because you got 800 some bases all around the world. Because y'all the ones that have ever in history killed millions of people with atomic bombs. Because your money is the reserve currency of the world. You think you're big and bad. But it's time for you to come down. It's time for you to come down off that throne. It's time to get off that throne. It says the whore of Babylon is going to be dethroned by every nation on the planet. Every nation is sick of this bitch. Every single nation is sick. Every single nation is sick of her. Every single nation. Because she don't know how to stop. America don't know how to stop. America just keeps going and going and going. And y'all calling us hate groups because we're telling the truth about it. Y'all call us hate groups. This is Revelations chapter 17 verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, come here. I will show unto thee the judgment of that great bitch that sitteth upon many waters. Verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, and abomination of the earth. Huh? And the abomination of the earth, man. Verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Yahweh. He is Yahweh Shah, the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings. They that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. We are going to reign with our King. We are the knights that defend the crown. And when the King comes back and reclaims his throne, we are going to be co-heirs with him. and we will rule over the entire planet as it was meant to be. Verse 15, and he saith unto me, the waters that thou seest, where the whore is sitting, those are people, and multitudes, and nations, and tongues. What's that saying? That's saying that America has her foot in every nation. America has the rulership over all these countries. They control it. They control Syria. They control they control Iraq. They control Philippines, Japan, South Korea. They control Cuba. All these places all around the world, they control this thing. They control it with the iron fist. This is the whore of Babylon. America is that filthy bitch that's about to be destroyed. Let's Man, I'm getting excited, man. I'm getting excited because we tearing down all the strongholds. We tearing down all the strongholds. People that's coming into the truth, they see what the manuscript is really saying, and they walking away from these churches. Like I said, the pastors are pissed. All these preachers are pissed. They are pissed off, and they trying to come against it. Trying to come against it like like they know what they doing. No, y'all don't know the scriptures. Y'all don't know the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? Like a couple Jehovah's Witnesses came at me and my brother talking some talk, and we sent them packing with the scriptures because they don't know scriptures. They know pamphlets. They don't know scripture. They don't know scripture. Head over to the church. Head over to the church. Confound them with 5 precepts. That's how little they know. Once again, Jeremiah 23:1 says, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahweh. This is verse 21. Verse 21. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, then they should have turned them from their evil ways and from the evil of their doings. But you don't see that, do you? You don't see that. You see faggots in the church. You see harlots in the church. Sluts in the church. Huh? You don't see righteousness. You don't see families. You don't see none of that. Pass the collection plate, if you will, if you please. That's how that works. That's how that works. But we breaking the yoke. We breaking the stronghold on them. We breaking the stronghold on them with the scriptures. With the scriptures, and it's nothing but chaos in these churches because now these people are hearing the scriptures and they're hearing what thus said the Most High, and they going back to their preachers, they're going back to their pastors with questions, and the pastor's shocked, the pastor's confused, like, wait a minute, you don't question this. I heard that my whole life. Said, don't question God, don't question God. Oh, really? Don't question God? When the manuscript says, he that seeketh wisdom, let him ask of God, who giveth freely. The Most High will give it freely. All praise to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. He gives it freely. But then you break down, you peel away the layers, and you find out what's really going on in these churches. That these pastors have a government subsidy known as the 501c3 that gives them exemptment from paying taxes. So all that tithe and offering, they get to take it and donate it. Excuse me, not donate. Take that money and deposit it right in their bank accounts. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. This is the book of Micah, chapter 3, verse 11. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. They divine for money. That's what they do. They don't teach the people. They don't teach the people the prophecies. They don't teach the people about what's coming. They don't warn the people. They don't tell the people to change their ways, or else they're going to fry. They don't tell the people that. No, they talk about your gifting, they talk about your harvest, your breakthrough, your calling, your ministry, your mansion, this and that. They talk about prosperity doctrines. They talk about all get your money. Get your money. Like Leroy Jenkins says, I think his name is. Get your money. While these pastors is having sex with the deacon's wife and it's just disgusting. It's disgraceful. Disgraceful. Yet here we are on the corner asking for 5 minutes of your time so we can give you the manuscript freely. Freely. No collection plate passed. No, we'll do this free. For free. For free. Yet we're called a hate group. Yet we're called hate. We're called preaching hate. No, we're preaching the truth. We're preaching the truth. That's what people hate today. People hate to hear the truth. We go out there in the corner, we see a couple faggots, we see a couple lesbians, we tell them that is wrong. That is wrong. Because not only is it immoral, but it's also destroying your body. But don't hear us. Don't hear us. Don't hear us. Because 2/3 of my people will not hear it. They will go and do the exact same thing that they've been doing. Ain't nothing gonna change with them. At all. Nothing's gonna change. Says he that is wicked, let him be wicked still. Let him be wicked still. He that is righteous, let him be righteous still. That's that ultimatum in the book of Revelations. That's that ultimatum. That's the ultimatum. You be what you want to be. Because Hashatan tells you to do as thou wilt. The greatest quote that you keep hearing, that everybody keeps wearing on all their garments, is just do it. Just do it. And that's exactly what y'all 2/3 Negroes and Hispanics and Native Americans are going to keep doing. Y'all just going to keep doing it. Just do it. Just do it. And you die where you stand. You're going to die here in America, which you love so much. Die here. Die. Because there's no place for you in the kingdom. There's no place for none of that foolishness in the kingdom. People get offended. People get offended. Absolutely, they get offended. That's why they would hate Yasharala. They would hate the Christ. If he was walking on this planet today, they would hate him and call him a terrorist alongside all of us. But we taking these scriptures, we giving these scriptures out to the people for free. You don't teach the people, you don't save the people inside these churches. No, you got to go where they are. You got to go where they are. Out into the hood and teach them, preach to them, tell them what's going to happen. Tell them who they are. Our people walk around not knowing who we are. We think with this, we think with that, we'll adopt this, we'll adopt that. We don't know who we are. We forgot who we are. As it is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 3. Let me get that real quick. Book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 3, it says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people does not consider. My people does not consider, meaning my people don't even care to know. They don't even care to know about it. But the ox is smarter than y'all. The ox will know where his owner is. The ox will know where his owner is. The ass, the dumbass donkey, the donkey knows how to make his way back home. But Israel does not know. Nor do they care to know. Nor do they care to know. But this is a warning. But this here is a warning. Let me go to the book of John. Not John, excuse me. Book of Romans. This is the book of Romans chapter 11. Oh, yeah. Book of Romans chapter 11 verse 25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. The fullness means the end. The fullness means the end of the age of the Gentiles. The end of the age of the Gentiles' rulership. You see? Until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. The tribe of Issachar had the clock. The clock known as the Mayan calendar. That was the clock. And it ended. It ended. Signifying the end of an age. These are Hebrews, by the way. These are Israelites. Keep that in mind. These Mayans are the Israelites, known today as Mexicans. But in ancient times, according to their tribe, they would be known as the tribe of Issachar. And they had the gift of they had the gift of seeing the times. They had the gift of seeing the times. That was the gift for the tribe of Issachar. They were to be the timekeepers. Every tribe in Israel had its own purpose. Every tribe. You had the Levites, who were the tribe of priests. You had the Benjamites. The Benjamites were the warriors. The Gadites were the master archers. Tribe of Asher, tribe of Naphtali. We had master technicians. All these things, sculptors. We had all those things. Tribes that were charged with many things. The tribe of Issachar were the tribe that kept the times, just like Judah was the tribe of kings. You see? This is chapter 13. Chapter 13 of the book of Romans. Chapter 13 verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The time is getting closer and closer and closer. The days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. As it is written, the days have to become shorter, or else there will be no flesh saved, or else there'll be no Israelites saved in this day, because it's going to be that bad. It's going to be that bad, man. That bad. The persecution is going to come heavy on us. Heavy. Jokers is going to be dying, getting killed for this truth, man. Getting killed for this. But if the days were not shortened, none of us would be left. None of us would be left. That's how hard That's how hard Esau is gonna come at us. That's how hard he coming after us. It's gonna be a lot of death. See what I'm saying? But since we've been doing nothing but teaching the truth, reaching the people, breaking down the strongholds, what came after that? The plagues. The plagues came after. plagues came. And what do you see now? What do you see? You see nothing but plagues. The plague of pestilence. Oh, these jokers is dying left and right from opioids, fentanyl, all types of madness. They dying. These Edomites is dying and getting destroyed left and right, just like how our people was being destroyed from the crack epidemic. Now it's coming upon them. Now it's coming upon these Edomites, these so-called white people. These Edomites is they catching hell all over the place because the curses are reversing as it is written. The curses have to reverse onto them at the time of the end. And here we are. We at the end of this thing. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And now they're feeling it. Now they're feeling it. The curses of Egypt are now on these jokers. The swarms of flies. The swarms of flies are taking over. You got entire cities that's been overrun by flies. You know what I'm saying? The swarm of locusts. If y'all hadn't seen it yet, the swarm of locusts that came over in Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, it was, overwhelmed with locusts so bad that you could see it from the satellite. It was that many locusts. The swarm of frogs. You know what I'm saying? You got these frogs that's infesting Florida. Like that right now there's an iguana plague. There's a plague of iguana just showing up all over the place. Iguanas showing up. And they can't be taken out. And yet they just keep multiplying. There's so many. It's a plague of them. It's a plague of them. The plague. Back to the plague of flies. You got these lantern spot flies. These spotted lantern flies. They are overwhelming this nation, and they're not being stopped. They're not being stopped. It may be winter now, but what did they do? They laid eggs. They laid eggs. And around the time when summer comes through, you gonna see them sprout out all over the place. They gonna pop up, say surprise. These are the plagues, man. These are the plagues. The plague of the firstborn. The plague of the firstborn. What's happening to all these Edomites all around the world? What's happening to them? They are having low birth rates. Their people are dying out. Their people are dying out. It's an absolute plague. All the physicians, the doctors, they're all saying this is a plague. This is a plague. Just a couple days ago, you had a prominent practitioner of 17 years. He quit, threw in the towel because there's so many dead bodies. There's so many of these people that's dying, and he cannot keep up with it. He can't keep up with it. He had to quit. How many more practitioners you think is going to follow suit and quit? Because these Edomites will not give you the full numbers. But this is a disaster, a full-on complete catastrophe. You see what I'm saying? The plagues of Egypt are here. The plagues of Egypt are here and all around the world. The plague of the rivers of blood. The rivers of blood over in Malaysia and all these places. You got rivers red like blood. You can't drink from it. Red like blood. You can't drink. You can't bathe in it. You can't do none of that with it. These are the plagues. These are the plagues that's upon the planet. As it is written. So Esau's looking at all this. Esau's looking at this. Esau's looking at their low birth rates. They're looking at these plagues, these swarms, these infestations, like these rats over in New York that just will not let up. You got these super roaches now. You can't even kill them. You can't kill them. You squash them 15 freaking times. They will not sit down. You know what I'm saying? You could kill yourself with roach spray, spraying the whole room, and they still keep going. You got nothing but infestations, nothing but plagues that's hitting this place over and over and over again. And let's not get into the natural plagues of the weather. Let's not even get into that. I mean, no, we got to do this thing. We got to do this. The volcano in New Zealand took out everybody. That just happened a week ago. That volcano swooped in, took everybody. Everybody. Oh, that was not the day to take your wife for a honeymoon. Because you dead now. You dead. Wildfires in Australia. Gone crazy. You can see that up in space. It's that much fire. California. Power outages everywhere. Unbelievable. You got these Edomites, these Edomite women, past the age of what, 40 or 40 or 45 to 50 or something like that and up. What do they call it? Post menopause women, and they're all dying from bacteria from the water, just drinking water. You can't drink water, can't bathe in water, and apparently the more healthy you are, the more susceptible you are to that illness. That's a plague. That's a plague. But guess what? It's not affecting any Negroes. It's not affecting any Hispanics. It's not affecting the quote unquote minority. It's not affecting the Israelites the same way it was in the book of Exodus, where all these plagues was on the heathens, but it did not touch the Israelites. The same exact thing. The same thing, the same way. Then you got these hurricanes and everything like that. It's just so much. It's just so much. Let me get this real quick. This is the book of Second Esdras. Second Esdras chapter 9, verse 1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the times diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is that very time, that very same time, wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And here we are. We at the end of this thing, man. We at the end of this, and Esau sees what's going on. Esau is afraid. Esau knows that his rulership is over. That all the nations of the planet is sick of him and hates him to his very core. What is left for this? What is left for this person? What is left for Esau, the Edomites? What is left for them? Because you're looking at a wild beast. You're looking at a ravaging beast that's now cornered. What is left? What's left for him? The only thing left is to resort to his blessing, which was the sword that was given to him by Isaac, our father Isaac, in the book of Genesis. What was that blessing? Let's find out what that blessing was. This is the blessing in the book of Genesis. The book of Genesis in the Hebrew is known as the book of Barashik. The book of Barashik, chapter 27, let me start at verse 38. And Esau said unto his father Isaac, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of all the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that has happened. That has happened when we were ruling in the dark ages, when we were the kings and the nobles and the knights in the dark ages, and we had these Edomites, these so-called white people, in subjection. Everything was prosperous. But once they broke out of that and rebelled against us and performed performed mutiny or what have you, they overthrew us and they put us in chains. You see what happens? See what happened? They put us in chains. And then, as it is recorded in the first book of Maccabees, they created kingdoms and spread wickedness throughout the entire earth. You see? But how did they do it? They resulted to their blessing. It says, by the sword shalt thou live. And the sword today is the gun. They are resulting to their gun. They are the Edomites. They are the ones that love to hunt. As it is written, they are the ones that love to hunt. As it is written in Genesis chapter 25, verse 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. What do these so-called white people love to hunt? What do these cunning people, these cunning hunters, what do they love to kill? They love to kill deer. And what you get from these deer, their deer meat is known as venison. These are the Edomites. This is Esau. Esau is Edom. And Edom is coming down on us right now to using his blessing, which is the gun, which was the sword. You see that? That's what this cornered beast is going to do. So I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut this pretty soon. But I just gotta let y'all know. Now is the time. Now is not the time to be focusing on the Super Bowl. Now's not the time to be focusing on anything carnal or anything like that. Just like, oh well, we need to get guns. We need to no. No. That's not how this works. It's not how this works. If you're thinking that way, then you have not been paying attention, and you have not been reading the scriptures. It does not say we're going to deliver ourselves. It says that the Most High is going to deliver us. You see? So I need y'all to pay attention. Pay attention to the signs. Focus and stay strong in the faith. Don't let up, and don't forget that you are the royal knights charged with keeping the faith and keeping the charge in defense of the crown. Do not forget that. With that, I want to say all praises, all glory, all honor to Yahweh, which is the name of the Holy Father, Bahashem, which is in the name of Yahweh Shai, which is the Son of the Most High. All praises, and I want to say shalom to y'all brothers that's pushing this truth, that's still doing the work, man. That's still doing the work, day in, day out, in season, out of season. putting your lives on the line. I want to say shalom to y'all and salutations to all the brothers and sisters that are listening in, and to all the children. Salutations and shalom to y'all. Barakatah. Keep the faith, y'all. Shalom.